Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman and these are the market positions for July the 18th, 2017. Now our first trade for tonight is going to be in the Forex market. We're looking at the British pound New Zealand dollar. Now this pair is not for the faint of heart. It's a very volatile cross pair, but it does appear we've got some opportunity forming. Now we have major trend line resistance coming in at the 78 area. You can see that we've closed above 78.31, but we do have a fresh triple EMA cross from VantagePoint that has taken place just 3 days ago. We have our neural index is turned from a 0 to a 1. Our predicted short, medium, and long-term differences are holding above the 0 line. Now, we've also got a crossover on the predicted MACD, which is leading us higher, but again, we're looking for momentum to build on here. Our predicted RSI struggling a little bit at this 60 level, but we're holding above the 40, so we're not breaking to the downside. Now, once again, this is a very choppy cross pair. We've got the Bank of England this week, so there is some fundamentals that are coming into play, but overall, the pair does look like it's getting ready potentially to break higher based around those key VantagePoint indicators. Now, our short-term crossover we can assess here is back to the upside. Medium term looks very good, and our long term looks good with a lot of activity on the crossovers coming in around this 177.39 to 177.63 area. So when we look at this, not only is this a good short-term trade, but it could be a very good medium to longer term position also if we can break through this trend line resistance and stay above that area. Now, all stops on here, we want to make sure we're down below the 76 area to give this trade some breathing room. Now from here, all we have to do is go into that all-important daily report to fine-tune tomorrow's entry. Now once again, with the VantagePoint software, we update this software approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each night. And from there, we look for our next trade. So with our close of 178.30, we're looking for a pullback to 177.37. We're then going to target all the way up into the 179.05 area, guys. So once again, we want to make, whenever you're trading a pair like this, you should be accustomed to a lower lot size and a bigger stop. It's a very, very volatile cross pair. Now, if we can break through this level up here and start pushing above the 179 area, that realistically could open the door very quickly to a much bigger move towards the 182 area. Now, our second trade for tonight is going to be in the U.S. Energy Sector, specifically the Southwestern Energy, the SWN stock. Now, we have a very, very busy week this week coming up, and what we're looking at this coming week is again whether or not the earnings can boost the S&P 500 any further. In my respectful opinion, I'm not convinced in the least that that's actually going to happen. I think the equities are grossly overvalued, but they are still moving higher. So when we look at these things, we want to go to a sector that's potentially not going to be affected as much by those earnings, like the tech sector and a number of different stocks in the S&P. So we're going to move over to the energy sector. The energy sector, of course, is seeing a bit of a boost here over the last week or so on that weaker U.S. dollar that was predicted over the last few weeks in the Forex Weekly Outlook. So when we look at this particular stock, we want to look at our indicators here. We want to look and focus on our key levels. We have support, trend line support, firmly sitting at about the 550 mark, but we also have trend line resistance sitting up here at about the 640 mark, which is also a concern. We have our neural index has moved back higher, our predicted short, medium, and long-term differences above the 0 line, predicted MACD still moving higher but below the 0 line. We're looking for that to extend, and we're at 59.7 here on the predicted RSI. Now, of course, we're looking for a break of that all-important 60 level here, and then we've got our 40 is holding firm, so we're looking for some momentum to build. Now, what we can assess here, looking at the key crossovers from VantagePoint, we have a fresh triple EMA cross off a very identifiable trend line. So when we're looking at this, we want to also make sure that we're checking our individual crossovers here. Very, very important. We don't want to necessarily leave anything out or miss anything here. So checking those when we bring this over here so everybody can see. We've got our short-term crossover again Moving to the upside here, excuse me, let me just get this here so everybody can see it. There we go. Short-term crossover looks very good. Medium-term crossover looks excellent. And our long-term crossover is just crossing the trigger now, so we can see a lot of activity here around 592. So once we've run through our checks here, guys, then and only then do we go to the daily report. The first thing we want to make sure we're doing is identifying direction of trade. So in this particular case, excuse me, we're looking at buying on a dip. So with that close of $6.09 per share, we're looking for a minor pullback tomorrow, guys, to 587. So we can then target the 627 on an intraday basis only. Now, if the energy sector can push through this 640 area, then that's going to open the door back up to potentially this $8-9 per share mark. So not just a good short-term intraday position, but also potentially a very good medium to longer-term trade.